Well, hello there, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're in for a collective reading for 2025. Uh, this week I'm going to be releasing as well a pick a card reading about 2025 because this one, pick a card readings about years. I think that could be a very, very fun thing. In this video, we're going to be exploring like collective themes though. And especially I feel that not everyone who finds the pick a card reading will find this video, so there's that as well. This is for my exclusives. Anyways, if that's a topic you're interested in, make yourself comfortable, make yourself at home, bring yourself a cup of tea, whatever you need. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe so you don't miss out when I post new videos like so, and also it supports me a lot. I'll be very grateful. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Two cards that immediately popped out as I was shuffling the decks for refreshing them for 2025. So we're going to be keeping them here. I'm going to be bringing in some Oracle cards because I'm feeling more Oracle-like than Tarot for this one. But we're going to see whatever pops up. And we're going to see what Spirit has to say. So 2025, first of all, 2024 was numerologically, we're going to start there. In numerology, 2024 was an 8 year, and the themes, the 8 in numerology, yeah, right. In numerology, the 8 is the most material of the numbers and deals with power and money as a main theme, let's say. And 2024 has definitely put us to, explore our relationship to these themes. In many ways, especially in the collective, especially like relative to the power, a lot has happened in 2024. 2025 is a 9 year, which is the last number of a cycle from 1 to 9. And in numerology, the last number is the one of wrapping up, is the one of letting go, is the one that in tarot would be associated with the death card. It's, the one of, okay, we're closing a cycle. What is it we're bringing on with us into the new one? What is it we're letting go of? 222 on my timer. Yeah, a lot of Spirit is going to be acting a big role here. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting year. But 9 in numerology can be seen as a bit of an intense number because it deals with letting goes. It deals with purging everything which isn't aligned with us. So collectively, I'm gonna be honest with you, like 2025 years as a collective, as in international news, I feel like it's good. It may be quite intense, especially for a very particular astrological transit that I'm gonna be talking about right after. However, another thing worth mentioning is in 2024, we've already been releasing a lot, and I mean a hecking lot, especially the people in my community here. It's like people watching these videos. Considering the messages I've been channeling through this channel, I can tell that if you're watching this video, you've been releasing a hacking ton already. So it's like, then what's the theme of 2025 for us if we've already been releasing a lot? Well, 2024 has been releasing a lot internally. Our lives may not have shifted, quote unquote, that much, physically talking. A lot of it has been going on underneath the ice, underneath the soil. A lot of it was internal work. It was about introspection. It was about letting go of cycles. But like all of these things were invisible. We have seen many manifestations in our daily lives of how we have changed and how differently we relate to the world, we respond to the world. It's like no doubt that things have changed, but we haven't, as a collective, seen like major shifts physically talking in 2024. Well, no more. 2025 is all about that, actually. 2025 is all about letting go, but because we've already done the groundwork, because of the fact that our internal reality has already shifted so much, 2025 is going to be a lot about the external. And more so, I'm hearing aligning. There is going to be a lot of alignment. And when you hear this word, you're like, oh, well, it's going to be obviously, as always, in our best interest. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty cool if you are willing to put in the work, which we have done here. But the collective of our species may not have been collectively all that willing to put in the work. A lot of work's been done still, I'm hearing, at the scale of our species. It'd be interesting to know who I'm channeling right now, because it feels like... Oh, that's fun. Sure, there are spirits, but it almost feels like there is an quote-unquote extraterrestrial point of view coming through here, which isn't so much... It feels incarnated. Oh, that's fun. Okay. It's like the perspective I'm tuning in right now is the one of an extraterrestrial. I wouldn't be able to guess which species, but that's interesting. That's fun. Okay, well, whomever you are, welcome. But it's like, as a species, a lot has changed in 2024, but as you look at individuals, there's been a lot of resistance, and we have felt this in the collective, a lot of fear, a lot of bitter energy, a lot of darkness moving through. You know, we've seen that, definitely. And so 2025 is going to hit hard for those who are resistant to it. But in my community here, again, considering what I've been channeling, we have put in the work. So 2025 is going to be fun. It's going to be fun because, yes, I mean, you know, it's life, so it's not always going to be like butterfly and roses. There's no point in that. It's not fun if it's always perfect. You would get... It gets tasteless without the contrast. But what I'm hearing is that there are going to be major shifts in 2025 because of this 9 numerological year. It's wrong wording. This is not because we have 9 in numerology that there are going to be big events. We're taking the power back. Nova, come on. Numerology is reflecting back to us, better said, the fact that there are going to be many shifts. Between parentheses, when it comes to these tools like numerology and astrology, is something I'm teaching myself out of, but please don't give your power away to numerology or the stars. That's not the point of what this quote-unquote science exists, or pseudosciences exist. These tools are what they are meant to be, tools. They are reflecting us what's going on. Sometimes when we're navigating through the valleys, we do not necessarily see what's going on. So we look at the sky, we look at the number on the clock, and that helps us better understand what's going on, because we got our heads so into it that we may not realize it. It's not because the stars are doing this that it means that it's not because of the star that this is going on. It just happens that this is going on, and so the stars replicate it to us, reflect it to us. They're tools. Please don't give your power away to that. Closing the parenthesis. What was I saying before that? Yeah, 2025 is going to be major shifts, major transitions for us in our physical life, so as to align with ourselves, with our higher truth, which came through the card. Aligning with who we truly are. And this is a major shift that we're going to be observing in the collective, in our individual lives. Since we've done already so much groundwork, for us it's going to be very much facilitated. And when these shifts are going to appear, and they're coming in fast, I'm hearing, it's not going to be as scary, because we are almost going to be expecting them. And when these shifts are going to happen, I'm seeing the Tower card in my head. It's like a lot of these shifts may be unexpected, but to us they may not feel like very... I mean, they're not going to be completely out of the blue. There are things that we know, there are things that need to be changing at some point. We already know, being honest with ourselves, we already know that this is not working for us. Life has made it so that it kept it there because it was still teaching us some things. But we already know, being honest with ourselves, there are a few things that need to be changing, that will change. They haven't because it still served us. But we know that there are some things that won't be serving us forever. So when these shifts happen, I'm feeling that most of people here won't be completely surprised. Yes, it will be surprised because of how unexpected it is, but it won't be like completely out of the blue. Oh my god, I wouldn't have guessed in a million years. It's like, no, we knew that the time was coming at some point. But as a collective, for our species as a whole, it may not be necessarily felt this way. It may feel like a lot of tower moments, a lot of unexpected moments that may not always be preferred. Because as a collective, we may not be aware of everything which is going on. And so when the shift is going to appear so as to align with our truth, with our essence, with who we truly are, well, many of us won't understand why this is aligning, how come that our truth is related to that change. A lot of us don't see how everything which is happening is always serving us in our best interest. That's okay, but that's why I'm hearing it's like 2025 may be a very intense year for the collective. But I cannot argue the fact that I do not feel fear at all. It's like somehow deep down we already know what we're into. All the things that we wanted to see die in 2024 and didn't, we're gonna see them disappear. And so it's not gonna be that surprising to us. For those of us who dedicated ourselves to introspection and took 2024 as an opportunity. Another thing I want to mention about 2025, I haven't explored the astrology that much. I'm not like super good at astrology. I haven't studied it all that much. But there are a few placements that I've been following. The major one, if you've ever heard of astrology, you have heard of that. It's Pluto, which entered the age of Aquarius, which entered the sign of Aquarius, and with it, the age of Aquarius just arrived. For a little bit of context for the astrology newbies, Pluto is the farthest now not planet of our star system, which means that its revolution around the sun is very, very long. And in fact, I believe it's around like 300 years. Like a Plutonian year is 300 Earth years. It's a long revolution around the sun, and that means that it's the time it takes for Pluto to move from one sign, astrological sign, to another is around like 13, 15 years. I don't remember exactly. I think it's 13, but I may be wrong. So it's like, it's very, it doesn't change sign every day, to say the least. It just happens that Pluto deals with death and transformation, so it's a super intense planet. The energies of Pluto are deeply transformational, and Pluto always sets us back on track with who we truly are. It's a love or hate situation with Pluto. It's like, it's a beautiful energy, but it tends to hit us out of the blue. It tends to realign us when we are not expecting it. It tends to, it's very much like the kid who says, no, I don't want to do it. And then the parent just steps in the room and says, I know you don't want to do it, but I'm still going to make you do it because I know it's for your highest good. So, it's like, we're talking like someone losing their job all of a sudden, like the house burning up in flames, and it's like, oh my god, it's so bad, it's so horrible, it's so sudden. It's always aligned with our highest truth. But Pluto has this tendency of showing itself in very abrupt and noticeably intense ways. That's why when Pluto changes sign, which doesn't happen very often, it's quite a big deal. Pluto just left Capricorn for Aquarius, and the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, now you may have guessed it, was 300 years ago. What happened 300 years ago? French and American Revolution. And in fact, if you've been following the worldwide notices, I was just noticing this like 2 days ago is like South Korea's government's been thrown off already. And this is the kind of energy we're stepping into. People are re-owning their power because Aquarius let me explain that first. Aquarius is the astrological sign that deals with many things, including being your freakiest, weirdest self and loving yourself for who you are. The Aquarius is very unapologetic, is very unique. And they're the people that we tend to deem as weird because they completely embrace who they are. And Aquarius people will fight for their honest truth. It's second nature for Aquarius people to always be obsessed with authenticity. And this is very much the themes that we're exploring with the fact that we have a 9-year in astrology for 2025. So, it's like, we're dealing with big energies. Pluto just moving into Aquarius means that there are going to be major readjustments in the next few years, as we've just entered this new era. We call them astrological eras for how long Pluto takes to transit through a sign. And the fact that we're reaching the end of a numerological cycle adds a lot of it. Like, it's gonna be very intense for the collective. And that is both beautiful because it means that there are going to be major realignments for those who are, yet again, very willing to go with it, like the people we got here. For those who are not so willing to go with it, it's gonna be not so fun. But I mean, the fact of people being willing or resistant to change and transitions being quite the theme for the past, I don't know, like nearly decade now. So that's not very much new, but expect things to move swiftly, abruptly, unexpectedly, always in your highest interest in the physical. And we're going to see much of this energy on the international news as well. Like typically a government failing because the people start re-earning their power and saying, you know what, no more, I want something that reflects myself better. A lot of governments are going to be challenged. So, it's a very up in the air energy, but one which is very much needed. That's why it happens now. Now, we have other energies now for the individuals, because I know that 2025 as an energy, it's much like for the collective of our species, it's a little bit like, oh my god, what are we up in for? Can I say no? As in, can I just backtrack now? Is it too late? No, that's life, honey. We're going in together. It's going to be a fun ride. A much needed one. But for the collective, for the sake of this video, now that we've made like the quote-unquote introduction to what's going on numerologically, I can't seem to be pronouncing it twice the same way, and astrologically, we're gonna get into like the cards of what we're dealing with in for the people watching this video, for our little collective. And then yet again, later this week, I'm going to be releasing the pick card, which is going to be fun. These cards I love, and they make perfect sense within the energies that we're dealing with. An ant is, to me, the rebirth here. It's transmuting a cycle into a season, transmuting something that didn't work for us into a new life, a new birth. It's birthing a new us, birthing a new version of us, living our lives in a new way. It's a lot of new energies, which make, again, perfect sense within the context of what we've already discussed. But it's also not only a lot of new energies, it's also aligning. It's a very deep, to me, this card is so deep. It really calls like, what was the intention for you to come in this world? That is very much the message I get here from this card. It's like, why did you come to this world, honey? It's time to honor that. It's time to start having fun, because guess what? You chose to come here for a reason. If you align with it, that's where you're gonna find your heavens on earth. Our emotional system is wired around our truth, is wired around our purpose, is wired around who we are meant to be. If you follow it, joy is a natural byproduct. Isn't the human machine well designed? Oh, I love that. Humans are so well designed. But yeah, and that is very much like aligning. Why did you come here? It's time to align it. It's a profound soul calling. That's why, yet again, transformations and new beginnings straight off the bat, immediately. That's the energy we're dealing here with. Before the absolute best. Yes, the mind may be challenging. The mind may be scared. That's completely normal. It's like, oh yeah, let's do something you've never done with the excuse that you're gonna like it. How do I know I'm gonna liking it? How do I know I'm gonna like it? Because it's your truth. It may feel challenging at the moment, and I think that we're pretty used to the challenge now after these past 4 or 5 years. It is for your highest good, and it's gonna be well worth it. By the end of 2025, my God, are we going to be living lives which we are proud of? What's your honest truth? Again, makes perfect sense. It's the age of Aquarius that has started, and that's the whole point to why these changes are happening. And Spirit is sharing an interesting perspective. Like this extraterrestrial point of view that we have looming over this reading. What's going on with my voice? Almost feels like something that is like the energy reminds me of that of Bashar. It's like a very much higher frequency than ours. But it's like, why are these shifts happening? Because there's no point in feeling powerless to it. I'm gonna be holding on to this one, my aquamarine. Perhaps it helps a little with the throat. Why? That's the whole point. Why? Well, uh, the idea that there is no point for the universe to be shifting things up because it's fun. It's like, no, the universe doesn't lose its time this way. What's happening is that all of this transition, these shifts, these endings, these tower moments, these oh my god, everything fell to the floor, for the sake of realignment, is for us to realign with our honest truth, with that which we actually are, with that in which we feel like we're thriving, in which we feel ourselves, in which we feel our happiest, our most loving, in which we feel the most passionate and ecstatic, That's why it's happening. So that's why it's also like, I'm hearing, don't displace your power. Again, this message came in twice. Don't displace your power away, saying that, oh my god, I'm so scared because a lot of things are going to be shifting. The reason to why they're shifting is because you're realigning with your truth. If you are already aligned with your truth, you will not be experiencing these many shifts. But in that case, you may not be resonating with this video, which is perfectly fine. I'm very happy for you. For most of us, though, there's going to be a lot of changes. That's the thing, like, why being scared of that which ultimately leads you to yourself, that which will lead you to the things you've been praying for this past year? Please don't displace your power saying, oh my god, I'm scared and a lot of shifts are going to be happening. You wanted these shifts, you prayed for them. You may have forgotten your prayers, the universe didn't. You prayed for love, you prayed to meet the perfect one, you prayed to meet the one, you prayed for money, you prayed for a stable financial situation, you prayed for health, for family, for a dynamic career, you prayed for passion, for purpose, you prayed for all these things. They're getting delivered. Don't be scared of it. Yeah, the universe has its own ways of delivering things the way that makes the most sense and is the quickest, which is rarely the way our minds expect it to come. But it's the quickest and most effective way for it to come into our lives. So why being scared? There's already this question that I'm wanting to put out because it needs to be heard. There's no reason to be scared. It's okay, it's understandable. But ultimately, the only reason to why shifts are happening is because you wanted them. It's because you prayed for them. It just happens that by the time they happen, you may have forgotten about the fact that you asked for them. Some cards I'm feeling like trusting divine details. I mean, yeah, that's just confirmation of what I was saying. Perhaps things will not be happening. Oh, that's an interesting combo of cards. Things may not be happening the way we expected them. We are getting profoundly aligned with our truth, our honest truth, with that which we are, aligned with the calling of our soul, aligned with ourselves. It's just, it feels so good speaking about these things. It's so beautiful. It is so wanted. Yet, we have to keep in mind that if we haven't been aligned this whole time, it's probably because our minds didn't know how to. It's probably because we didn't know how to. We were not born knowing everything, knowing it all. That's okay. That's part of the journey. That's part of the fun. You were not born knowing it all. But when things start shifting, don't be scared. It's normal that they are shifting in ways you don't expect them. Why would they be shifting the way you expect them? If you knew, why hasn't things already shifted if you already knew? Things haven't shifted yet because you didn't know. So now they're shifting because the universe knows better, believe it or not. But as the thing is, like, trust in divine details. Don't get upset if things don't go your way at first because they are going your way. And 2025 is going to be a very fast-paced energy. Again, it's like major shifts happening physically. You're going to see it before your very eyes, whereas in 2024 it felt very much under the surface. 2025 is nothing about under the surface. And so, yeah, it's like, it's okay if things don't go the way you expected them, because 2 days later down the line you realize that, oh my god, that's actually exactly what you needed. It's just that you wouldn't have seen it before. Another thing, trust in divine details, another message is for what has happened. A lot of us have ended 2024 with a bit of frustration, as in, we're very happy of who we became, of how much we've grown. If you haven't watched the other video I'm posting at the same time as this one, I would invite you, because we're talking about very much that. But in this video, and which I'm picking up here again, is there's been some frustration at the end of 2024 because a lot has shifted underneath, but some of us would have wished that, you know, some things also shifted above the surface. And yet again, it's like everything happened exactly as it was supposed. There is a plan that you do not see that is okay. The universe, trust me, isn't dumb. It made you. Trust me, it's not dumb. The universe has a plan. Your spirit has a plan. It just so happens that, yeah, we may not, in our human self, our physical mind, may not have access to this plan because it's of a very high frequency, which is okay. It's not always fun to know it all, to know the end of the story before having read the book. It's like, trust the plan. There is a plan. Things didn't go your way. It was better this way. Turn knowledge into wisdom. Here I'm picking up again this energy of a profound soul calling. I just feel so much maturity, and in the sense of one knowing themselves. Like a lot of shifts happening in 2025 that put us back on track onto a life that, like, honestly could very be coming in ways that were like, you know, we wake up, someone screaming on top of their lung, there's a tornado, the next thing we remember, we're into a completely new life, we're in a completely new home and everything is fine, and we're just like, what the heck just happened? And the life that we're hopping onto, because it feels like the right word to use here, is very much one in which we deeply recognize ourselves, one where there is such a depth that is emanating here. Again, it's like soul calling, people aligning with who they truly are and living their lives from their heart, no longer from their mind and egos. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what we prefer here. Someone living their lives through their heart and living a very fun, very joyful life as a result. Yeah, it's very, very deep, and I love that. Two other cards that came through: time to heal, time for a deep dive, time and time. There's a reference to time here. Time may be playing and bending in weird ways, I'm hearing. 2024 felt a little slow at moments, although, which was very interesting because the numerology 2024 is an 8 year. 8 years are generally known to be a little more fast-paced. I didn't feel this way for most of us. And here in 2025, time is bending because there is a lot of quantum leaping happening, I'm hearing. A lot of quantum leaping, yeah, which is good. But again, it's like quantum leapings, you're hopping onto a different timeline of yours. It's like, yeah, your life shifts in an instant and you're like, oh my God, what happened? And always for the better, but I feel that time to heal, it's not the same kind of healing that we've been embarking on 2024, although if that's what we feel called to, introspection and releasing, that is something that we'll be doing all throughout our lives. You know, it's like it will come up as relevant, but here as a collective kind of message, time to heal is very much this feeling again of realigning. Is like all of a sudden, perhaps for the first time for as long as we can remember it, really, living a life in which we truly feel ourselves. It feels like our lives are healing. It feels like our experience is finally reflecting the shifts that have been going on under the surface. Finally, there's alignment between the moon and the sun. Finally, there's alignment between the external and the internal. And that feels like a lot of healing. Another thing is there is a lot of healing happening through the external. A lot of love peering through the external. That may not be a message for the collective for the species, but very much we're in the collective of the people watching this video. It's like I'm hearing specifically for some, it could be very well like a new romantic relationship with someone. It just so happens that with this person, we happen to be healing a lot through this relationship, and finding yourself in new situations that just facilitates the healing. And time for a deep dive. I mean, yet again, it's like there's so much depth to it. There's so much more getting to know ourselves. Also, the flowers is like one falling in love with themselves, because it's a little hard to love someone that you don't understand nor see nor are able. It's like, imagine you talk to someone on the phone and you've never actually met them. It's like, how do you fall in love with someone you have never seen nor understood nor heard? How the heck are you supposed to fall in love with yourself if you have no clue of who you are? And it's like, some of us, it feels like a bit of a specific message again, but it feels relevant for some. It's like some of us grow with this sense of shame and hatred as we were kids, and it's like we grew up feeling like we didn't like ourselves. The reason why you didn't like yourself is because you started identifying with things which are not really like all that likable, which aren't yours to begin with. And the more you release and discover who you truly are, the more you actually start seeing yourself for who you actually are, the more you realize that, no, you were beautiful all along. You just didn't see it. There's a lot of beauty emanating from these flowers. And yeah, you get the deep dive. It's like getting to know ourselves ever so more deeply, living a life that actually reflects who we are deeply. All of that deeply. So yeah, again, deep energies, and I like that. I'm feeling drawn to pick up one last card because I feel that there isn't anything else really to be said. It's an interesting, yeah, there's a lot of energy. I just feel like it's hard to, I just feel like it's not really the most, I feel like almost appropriate way to be talking about 2025 through this kind of format, because it's like there is so much going on this year, and every single year there's so much. It's like the readers are going to be making predictions about some things which are going to play. A year is 365 days, it's like, it's a long time. So it's like, yeah, we can be discussing about a few things, but it's not going to reflect your entire year, thank God. Would be a little lame otherwise. But well, we're discussing these overall themes, but I honestly feels like just make yourself at peace with the message, and then just let yourself forget it. Because anyways, I just don't feel that this is a reading necessarily which is made to be came back to. It feels like, it's like, you're here, enjoy it while it lasts, because all of this knowledge is not relevant to you living it. All of this information is just for you to relax into the process. Honestly, it feels like change maker make waves. There is a lot of changes. We already talked about that. I mean, the cards are only confirming the message at this point, but there's a reference to the sea, to the beach for some, but otherwise it's just, oh, by the way, 45, it's a 9 in numerology, yet another 9. Change maker make waves. It's like there's so much change, and this world is going to be greatly benefiting from all of us making these changes and aligning with that which we enjoy the most. Because when you're happy, the world does better. When you're happy, you do better, you enjoy life more, and so does the world. It's just, I'm hearing like ripple effect. As you are enjoying your time, your moment, the world elevates. So yeah, that's beautiful. That was a lot of messages. Phew. Thank you so much for having shared space with me today. That was a interesting reading, to say the least. Go check out the other one. It almost feels like Paris. Like, I'm going to be releasing 2 videos at once, 2 channeled messages. The other one was talking about like 2024 mostly. So go check it out if you feel inspired to, because yeah, they kind of seem tied together. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for being shared space with me. That was a lovely reading, a true honor to be reading for all of us. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. That would support me a lot. Please let me know down in the comments how it went. Also, I'd love to be connecting with you, know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what are you feeling for this upcoming year. I'd be very curious. And yeah, that being said, I'm gonna be seeing you in my next video. Until then, take care. Bye.